Sonny Gray from the York Yankees. Welcome.
Thanks.
Nice to see you pitcher. First year with the Yankees, really?
Yeah, first full season. First full season.
I mean, first thing that jumps in my mind is like, you're a smart dude, like Vanderbilt. Like everybody in Westchester trying to get into Vanderbilt. How was that experience? Because I really love that school when I had an opportunity to go and speak there. Just a very well-rounded, just really cool people. Did you feel that?
Yeah, it's the campus is beautiful, amazing. The buildings, the architecture, it's all one of a kind. It truly is, and just the amount of just everything that goes on at that university, especially the baseball program there. You learn so much there, but then, I mean, academics is a huge part of.
So you went to school?
Yeah, you had to go to school.
You could have gone to a lot of schools.
Yeah, you go to Vanderbilt to go to school.
So you were a fan of the school?
Yeah, I was a fan of the school. I mean, I was a huge fan of Coach Corbin, but the school itself is. I mean, if you're, like you said, from Westchester, you want to go to Vanderbilt. If you're from Nashville, you want to go to Vanderbilt.
It's a hot school.
But
you could have gone minor leagues, right? You could have gone
I had the opportunity to get drafted out of high school and everything. But I actually, about 7 days before the draft, I sent out a letter to the scouting bureau and just said, "Thanks for everything you've done. Thanks for everything. But no matter what happens with the draft, I'm going to Vanderbilt." And best decision I ever made.
And did they still draft you or no?
I got drafted. Yeah, the Cubs drafted me in 26th round.
So were you like the best player in your neighborhood? Like, were you one of those like, oh, we got Sonny, like when I like that kind of thing? Were you like that? Because usually you talk to major league players. Even Mark Teixeira the other day goes, look, every now and then a player from Maryland gets to go to the pros or Baltimore, and he's like, yeah, I was the best kid in my whole area. And even then it was still a little doubt, but
it was.
Shortstop, pitcher, the whole thing.
Quarterback. I'm telling you, from my hometown, I say this all the time. It's from my hometown. I'm known for football. I'm known
Really?
the high school quarterback that won a couple of state championships, and baseball is it comes second to football where I grew up.
Now, were you a scrambler or you got the arm? I must have the arm.
We were in a spread shotgun offense, spread. Some unbelievably talented players. We had, I think, my junior year and senior year class. So when I was a junior, I was graduating in 2008. So the 2007-2008 class, we had 71 people. 7 guys on that team go to Division I.
You were stacked.
We were stacked.
Is there anything better than being the high school quarterback?
Nothing.
Somebody please interact with me. Is there anything better than being the high school star quarterback?
There's nothing better than being a high school quarterback.
I mean, it's like
it was. It was one of the best times of.
What steered you away from football that got you into baseball? Because state championships are usually mean you get Division I scholarship for a big school.
I had offers to play football in college, but I think I was always I loved baseball as well. I mean, I loved football, but I absolutely loved baseball too, and I think I knew my future was going to be in baseball. And when I got the opportunity at a freshman year in high school, I was getting recruited by SEC schools.
So you were the real deal in football and baseball.
For baseball.
But did you think about doing both? Like, I have a friend like Greg Paulus. Like, Greg Paulus, a buddy of mine, who ended up playing for Duke in basketball, but played basketball, football, and played one of the great high school football games at Syracuse.
Yeah.
And they yet decided just to go play basketball. Probably regretted it, by the way.
I thought about it, but 5'11", a buck 80. You
weren't feeling that.
I went on a couple of football recruiting trips and went to some cool games. You have to do a lot of cool things, and I saw those guys constantly walk by, and I was like, you know what? I think baseball might be for me.
I think it's fair, and I think it's a safer decision also, because you never know what's going to happen in that college scenario.
You never know. You never know though. I mean, baseball's worked out, and it's. I couldn't be happier with. Now,
when did you know you had this stuff? Because everybody talks about your stuff. That you've got great stuff. And when did you know you had that stuff?
My freshman year of high school, I would always pitch my whole life, and I was I was the guy coming up. I always threw hard. I like you said, played shortstop, threw hard, batted third, did all that stuff. And my freshman year of high school, there was a guy named Logan Darnell who he went to Kentucky. He went to a school, Good Pasture, in Nashville, Tennessee, and we were not supposed to play Good Pasture. There was a bunch of rain in the area. We were in a tournament hosted by my high school. Long story short, we ended up playing Good Pasture on a Friday night, baseball.
How many people are at a game like that?
We had good crowds for baseball. We would have a 1,500 people.
So it's real.
Yeah, it's. I mean, sports. Where I grew up, sports is a real deal. Sports is big time. And Logan Darnell was pitching, and he was on the other team, and he was a junior, and I was a freshman. So he's a junior, and all these colleges are recruiting him, and they're all there, and I pitched, and we won the game 10-0. And I think I hit 91 on the radar gun, first time I've ever been clocked, and ever since then I had some offers, and I was a freshman. I didn't know what was going on. I think it was probably my first or second start in high school, my whole career, and we won 10-0, and
you just never know when that light switch is going to go on, right? I mean, you never know when your opportunity is going to be there, and boom. But your stuff, though, how hard is it? Like, on the Yankee thing, obviously mentally, you got the starting pitcher stuff. Then they put you in the bullpen. Is that a mindset thing, or is there some physicality changes when you face that kind of change?
For me, I think mindset mostly. I mean, because you want to talk stuff. Yeah, I mean, you can throw the ball, 92 to 96 and it move and have good breaking stuff. But at the end of the day, I think you have to constantly develop and constantly progress in the right direction as a pitcher. And I think, everyone kind of goes through that. And it's just, for me, I've kind of been going through that a little bit throughout the course of this year. But, I feel really good where I'm at now, and going to the bullpen and kind of, I don't know if resetting or recharging is the right term to use, but I felt good, and I feel like I made a lot of progress just watching, talking, pitching, and I feel pretty good where I'm at right now. And there's still a lot of season left. We'll see what happens. You may play a vital role when it's all said and done. We'll see what happens from here on out.
What's interesting? Like Dave Urgetti, we were talking, and he had gone back and forth bullpen. One of the great Yankee pitchers, period, and great coaches too. But he was like, "Listen, there's what happens to you, and then you have to kind of separate yourself to what's happening to you, and then how you feel about it. And when you do, you look at it and you have a decision to make. How you want to feel about a behavior or a situation that's occurring. Like this could be." Wow, this is a great opportunity. I don't have the pressure of being a starting pitcher. I could just come in, do my thing for a couple innings. So it could be a lot easier. You say, oh my God, now I have to do it for routine. I have this. So you make that decision about how you're going to behave towards the situation that's at hand. People, I think, don't realize how much power they have over the things that happen. They decide if they want to get caught up in the mumbo jumbo of it, or it could be a positive thing.
Something like as a starting pitcher your whole life, and then you go to the bullpen. There's a couple ways to react to that, and you can get all down and hold your head down and be a distraction and be this and be that, or you can look yourself in the mirror and you can say, listen, this is it's put up or shut up. Make or break, not make or break, but it's put up or shut up. You gotta, for me, it's what's your goal here? What's the end game? And for me,
the end game is you are in the major leagues playing for the pinstripes. But I always also say ego is edge God out. Like, something at the end of the day, it's disappointing for some people, but for me, I'm grateful. Like I'm still on the mound at Yankee Stadium, and more than likely there'll be a moment. We've been down this road before where something will happen to one of the stars. You'll come in the third inning, and you'll then have the ability to pitch 5 innings.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's that's for me. It's getting your work in every day, and I feel like I've done that, and I've continued to work and put the work in and stay as positive as possible and wait for the opportunity.
So you could get better. You think you? I mean,
absolutely. I feel like there's. I mean, your stuff can be good and this and that, but it's important to continue to work to get better because, at the end of the day, like I think the way the league works now and the way baseball is, everyone's got good stuff. Everyone in the big leagues has
And
got
a lot
good
of
stuff,
it,
and
and it's
a lot of
fast.
it. And so,
That's
you
true.
know, stuff still plays, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like you've got to pitch a little bit in order to have continued success, and that's something that, you know, I've been working through, and I feel, like I said, I feel good with where I'm at now.
This town could get a little crazy though. But what's it feel like to be a Yankee when you put those pinstripes on? Like, was that kind of cool when you came over? Is that
Yeah, I mean, I remember last year just showing up the first day and, you know, flying from California to New York and, you know, walking in, and, you know, the first thing you do is you walk in and you're kind of
it's unbelievable?
getting adjusted. It's a very unique and a very very cool experience, and it's something that, you know, I'll definitely remember for.
Who's
for a
who's
long
your
time.
mentor? Who helps you? You know, every time you get to a certain phase, get to the next one.
I've I constantly am in constant you know, contact with Coach Corbin. I talk to him a lot. I still you know, I still, Derek Johnson, I still am, you know, I feel very close with him. These are guys throughout my life. Like I said, my dad passed away my freshman year, so I was pitching
Of college.
of high school.
Of high school. Wow.
So
young.
I was pitching in that game with the colleges and everyone there. You know, kind of really not knowing what's going on. And there was a time in my life where things were could be all over the place, and you know, so developing a relationship through processes, through recruiting process, and then when I get to college, it's, you know, you're away from home, and my mom, my sisters, and my stepdad now they're at home, and you know, you're in college and you're kind of doing your own thing, and I kind of could lean on those guys a lot in that time, and can still, you know, continue to lean on those guys when, you know, when times get rough, because, you know, times can get rough at times, but, you know, doesn't mean it has to stay that way.
I think also the thing I always talk to my people about is, like, when times get tough, that's what's tough. Is the times. You're still a good person. You're still a talented person. You are who you are. That behavior, maybe you had a bad day or maybe you had a bad game, but that's that game. That has no effect on the quality of person you are and your value. I think people sometimes say, well, if I win, well, now I'm more valuable.
Right.
If I lose, well, I'm not a good person. I'm not. No.
Right.
And once you start getting in that mental mindset, that's when
You're right.
That's when things start unraveling. I love that. First of all, I love that you went to college and took the degree seriously. If you weren't a baseball player, what direction would you have gone? Now having a little, you know, especially in Vanderbilt, very wide.
Yeah, a very large. I've always. I mean, it's a tough question to ask now because I am, you know, a baseball player, and I am in a little different circumstance than
And all
than
in
a lot
too,
of,
and all in.
Yeah,
It's not
I mean,
like
so
you're,
it's-
you know, you're still wobbling about what maybe you think you're gonna do.
Right. I went to Vanderbilt and studied human and organizational development, which is Vanderbilt's HOD program, which is equivalent to they don't have a direct business school,
Right.
but they have an HOD program, which is one of the best programs in the country. And it's just about people and learning people and understanding people and helping people in certain ways where, you know, maybe you don't really understand what's going on or whatever. So I've always enjoyed people. I've always enjoyed you know, associating myself with different and diverse people. So having said that, now that I do play baseball and when I am done, I think my dad, my dad was always my coach, and, you know, I have
Coached everything.
everything, and I have a 3.5-year-old son now, and expecting another kid in the next couple of days, actually.
Congratulations.
So another boy.
Welcome to the world of absolutely no sleep.
Yeah, absolute.
Another boy.
Great, another boy.
Oh, you're gonna have your hands
So I have
full.
2 boys. So I would love to be as much a part of their lives as possible, whether it's, you know, at a distance too, because I understand, you know, you're gonna need space, but I would love to do some type of. I would love to be able to coach them and come up, and I have a bunch of friends back home, you know, boys roughly the same age, 2 to 3 to 4.
Raise them all
you know,
together.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
come up and do that, and I think that's something that I would enjoy, and I'm a big family guy, into family involvement, and, closeness, and that's kind of what I enjoy and what I'm all about. So I think I look forward down the road to that, but now I'm really looking forward to to my career in baseball.
If you think getting on the mound with 60,000 screaming fans is one thing, it still doesn't compare to have the responsibility of parenting.
Exactly right.
I don't care how prepared you are. I mean, parenting is the hardest job in the world, especially in this day and age, maybe even harder. I mean, it's so complex. But if you take the all-in approach, and that's certainly the cornerstone and the foundation of it all, just getting all in, being there for your kids, how much preparation do you put in? Are you a big preparer? But sometimes, like some of my biggest situations, I really don't like to over prepare. I go in really light because I want to be open minded to it and be flexible. Are you an over preparer? Are you somebody who likes to cover every little thing with every hitter, or do you like to just go in and count on your stuff and your talent?
I've always been a guy, not only in baseball, but just throughout my life. I like to have an approach, and I like to have a plan. This could be as simple as going to the grocery store. I like to know what I want and what I want.
Spoken like a true quarterback.
I know.
Do you get that from that, or?
Yeah, I think
right?
so, because you go into a football game and there's you can have a plan and have something set, have a plan in motion, but something falls or something falters, and the plan you've got to be able to alter your course.
What's the plan in the supermarket, though?
I mean,
I have no plan in the supermarket. I'm going crazy in the supermarket.
Something will catch my eye, and I'll be like, you know what? I wasn't going to get that, but now I am.
No, I'm getting everything in the supermarket. I don't know if I'm ever making it back to that supermarket.
They say never go grocery shopping
when you're
hungry, and that's the only time I go grocery shopping. So it's but yeah, as a pitcher though, I like to have an approach and have a plan, but one day slider might not be as good as I would want it to be, and you got to find different ways to get guys out, and I think that's what it's all about. But if you're able to stay confident and trust your abilities and trust everyone behind you, I think just being able to be you is more important than anything else.
Big rest. Are you like a rest guy? Nutrition stuff play a role in your success, especially on game days when you're in season? Do you have a real particular routine about eating and sleep and those kinds of things? What's your approach?
I've never been, I got to do this. If the days I'm pitching, I'm doing this. Maybe I used to a little bit more, but as you said, when you having kids and having family, there's things that.
Like if I see you at the stadium on a pitching day, like we're talking, or you like don't talk?
I think so, but that's I think so. But then you talk to some guys and they're like, I don't know how to really handle you when you're starting that day, and I'm like, really? Because I feel like yeah, you can kind of get intense every now and then. I'm like, well. My bad, because I'm looking. I want to talk. I'm like, hey,
I talk to everybody.
Me too.
Like, talk to them. Skip it. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Yeah,
like,
me too.
I go right up
too.
to them. I don't care.
I'm looking.
It's a game.
I'm looking for some type of interaction. Always. I'm always looking for some type of interaction for sure. Always.
You
always.
like that? Now, empty stomach when you're pitching, or
the food
light
food. I mean, eat big breakfast for me. Night game, big breakfast. Eat a whole bunch, and then a couple of small meals throughout the day. Nothing huge.
Do you ever get hungry in the middle of a game though?
Yeah,
or?
Sometimes.
Like, what do you do? Like you
snack.
Go to Legends? You going to Legends and you bring me over? Or?
Nah, you snack. You just try to eat some some type of nuts or some trail mix or some type of stuff just to get some carbs and whatnot.
Because it's been really humid this summer.
It's been the weather's been crazy. Right? The weather's been nuts. Rain delays, hot. The weather's kind of been all over the place. It's freezing at the beginning, really hot, really humid, rain and this and that. I don't think we've ever had. I've heard everyone say this I don't think there's been so many rain delays or rainouts in
just the overall weather's been so adverse.
It's been a little different.
Especially even at the beginning, April was crazy too.
Crazy.
Back to the bullpen thing for a minute. I work closely with Mariano Rivera. Like to me, and all the conversations, and 20 years with Mariano, going home after games, after blown saves, the whole thing. And he just says the whole damn thing's just mental. The whole thing, he goes, you'll never see a change in my face. You never see a change in anything. It's consistent, and I want that hitter to know that there's very little chance he's going to even hit my pitch, let alone get a hit. And he's convicted, or he feels like that has to come with conviction, without saying that, and then the batters pick up on that. Do you believe in that mindset?
I do. But I also think that he's one of the best, if not the best, to ever do it. And I've had conversations, and I've listened to him speak before, and it's I think that is extremely valuable to be able to have that approach and have that mindset consistently, day in and day out, struggle, do well. But I think obviously when it's going well and when everything's going good, that's where you're at mentally. But I also think it's important to when it does go south, or when something does struggle, to do what you need to do and do what you can try to do to get back there. Because I think that is, I agree with that 100%. I mean, I think that is where everyone is at their best.
His level of simplicity. I've never seen somebody get it so simple.
Yeah. I mean,
because I would come in and say, at some point you got to throw a change up. I mean, really, why should I throw a change up? They can't hit my cutter. I'm like, well, then throw a curveball or something. Why should I throw a curve? They got the
word on the street has always been that he's had one of the best. He had the whole time he pitched in New York, he had the best changeup on the team. The word on the street.
He did work on it, but he said,
he never threw it. But they said he had the best changeup on the team. Just didn't need to throw it.
And the other thing with Mariano is that he couldn't throw a fastball, because his fastball was his cutter. He had no ability to throw a straight fastball, which is nuts. And at first he was really upset about it. He thought that, and Mel Stoudemire was out there, the pitching coach, was yelling at him, they were getting into an argument about it. And then he just, after a while, it was Girardi was catching him. He's like, and it was like he felt like God had come down and given him this pitch.
It was great. I loved watching that.
Crazy. Now you're in the dog days of summer. A little bit of a grind. It's hard for fans to really understand the travel. You're about to go on a West Coast trip, the weather, the delays. You've had the rain delays, not a lot of days off. How do you keep yourself up? How do you keep yourself going? And not only you personally, but as a team, how do you engage to keep yourself kind of having the fun?
I mean, there's a lot of guys throughout, not only on this team but just on teams in general, that August, they always say the dog days of August. That's what you hear, the dog days of August. And I think, that carries a lot of weight, because August is normally the hottest month of the year. It's, you can see the end of the season, but it's, you're still a month away. And for us, we're hoping we're still 2.5, 3 months away. But August is a month that is, the weather's hot. You're going to make a couple of long road trips normally, and it's everything from the course of the whole season, from spring training. I mean, you've been at the baseball field from February 10th, February 15th, to now, and people
a lot of hours.
People don't realize from February 10th to today, August 31st, we've been at the baseball field every day for at least 6 hours,
maybe more.
Most of the time more. On a normal night game, you'll get there at 2 o'clock, 2:30, and
so probably coming here is a treat for you.
And you get home at midnight.
Probably a highlight for you.
You get to feel more of like a normal life, but from February to now, there's only probably been 10 days that we haven't been at the field, that you get to, that you're just not. But I say that, then I go back. But being at the field is what we love to do. That's what we love. I mean, that's our guys. That's our group that we're with, and we love being at the field. But it can kind of get long, and that's why you have older guys on the team, which they do unbelievably well here in New York. There's a lot of older guys, and constantly reaching out, constantly.
Who a couple of those guys?
CeCe's for me
the best.
He's the best. He's the best. Neil Walker, he's a very outspoken in my opinion, in the right way. He goes, the way he handles his business every day. I think people see that. And Guardy's been here forever. He knows, he's been through it. He's always available for whatever. There's a bunch of guys that, D-Rob's, he's been through it. He knows what has to be done, to win. And there's a lot of guys on this team, and we're very fortunate to have those guys here.
I think people forget, like with Gardner, even Robertson too. Consummate professional. Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? They're not. If they were surgeons, they're not coming in and saying, I had a bad day, so I cut you open wrong. Like they're coming in. They may not play as well as they wanted to, but it's never with a lack of effort and energy and professionalism.
Showing up every single day and handling business the right way. Sure.
Gardner's been here a long time. You didn't see man, I don't know what's with him today. Always, straightforward, puts his head down, a grinder. Here's the thing with you. I've watched you pitch so many. Somehow I've just been to so many of your games, and I've seen the good, the bad, the whole thing. But what do you want Yankee fans to know about you? Because I was saying to myself prior to this, I was like, something? I don't know if anybody knows this guy. I don't think they understand this guy. We don't know him. Like, so there's a little bit of not an emotional connection with you.
Right.
What do you want Yankee fans to know about you? Because you're certainly a competitor. You got the talent, and I think the Yankee fans need to kind of get to know you better. Know the way.
I'm definitely. I would say I'm definitely kind of reserved when it comes out. I think if you ask anybody in the clubhouse, they would say that I'm not reserved and I'm very outspoken. But when it comes to, I think I come off as kind of a reserved guy, kind of just always going with the flow, doing my own thing. But I would say if you ask any one of the players, I'm probably not they would definitely say it's crazy. He's got a screw loose or something in a good way. I don't know. I mean, I just, there's like you said, there's been great days, there's been bad days, there's been ugly days, there's been everything in between. And it's just, I mean, it's at times this game can get tough and can get difficult, but there's no way that I'm ever going to stop competing. I'm never going to stop giving everything I got for not only the guys, but for everyone that's a part of this team. And I think the guys on the team, the coaches, everyone knows that. It's just, this game can get hard sometimes.
It's
and
crazy
you gotta
hard.
You got to stay mentally there. And, at times it doesn't go your way, and it can be tough to stay in the moment. But I feel like I try to do everything in my power to stay in the moment and go out there and compete and be the best teammate when I'm not starting that I can.
Do you think it's the mental? Like, to me, I still play basketball twice a week, and I know that sounds crazy.
Great, love it.
That
doesn't sound crazy. That's good.
59. I was throwing some threes in last night, by the way, and I don't. And the thing is, like, when I'm rolling, I will slice you up. I will have no pity on you. The problem is, and so last night I got gym early. I have a little basketball court in my house, so I was early playing, and dropping in some threes. So I got on the court. I was definitely gonna, I was an hour ahead of everybody else, and
you're already loose.
The problem is when I miss a couple shots early, I find myself getting very passive about maybe wanting to take that third or fourth shot. Do you feel like sometimes that is, because I think a big part of really winning and successful is what you do after you lose, what you do after a pitch doesn't go your way. One of the things I say to myself is like, that's not me. You're better than that, Brandon. Do it the way you know how you could do it. And it's a simple thing, but I give myself basically I close out that situation. I don't want to look to a coach. I don't want to look to someone else on my team. I say, Brandon, that's not you. You're better than that. Next time you'll do it better. And now I've already put that now behind me because I've kind of done that therapy with myself on that, and it's worked. And then when I do it well, I'm like, that's you. Get that ball back and go towards that guy again. Because usually when I score, it's in bunches. Like if there's like people that play with me know, like if we're playing like an 11 game, I'll score 6 out of the 11, or I'll almost score like none because I've missed a couple shots. And that's what I think. Like when I'm pitching, like when you get that close, that's not me. I could do it better. And immediately I'm putting that bad thing that happened behind me. And that's what I tell people that happened. Hey, losing isn't the opposite of winning. It's a big part of winning. Yeah. You know the right way to do it. Like I know as soon as I miss, like, oh man, elbow out a little, or my feet were wrong, whatever it is. And I'm like, Brandon, Oh God, use your legs, or and then that's not you. Next time you'll do it better. So next time I go down, I'm not thinking about what just happened, because I know the right way to do it. And it's that little psychology on the mound. But listen, I'm not playing in front of 45, 50,000, and then about 10 million people on TV watching.
I'd love to watch it though. I'd love to watch the game.
I'm 5 minutes from your. Come on over. Our games are crazy, and what's crazy when you play with older people is, first of all, a lot of referees.
A lot of
refs, and a lot of lawyers. All of a sudden the lawyers come out, they start making an argument about something that happened that they're nowhere near. But it's funny when you play with older people how experience can enable you to do a lot of things that maybe when you were younger. Like we have younger guys come on the game and we kill them, even though we're not as fast, but just the intelligence and the
golf
way
is the same thing in golf. Same thing with golf.
So and it's the same way in all the sports, really.
Yeah, you're right.
Experience is so important because you know what you can do, know what you can't do. We got to go. Closing remarks, anything you're working on outside of the game that you want people to know about, charity-wise or just community service-wise, or anything you got going?
I've got next homestand. I have a little friend of mine. His name is Colton Parsley. Him and his family are coming up. He was in a sledding accident in this winter. So him and his family are flying up. They're coming to the Yankees game. He went through a long road. He was asleep for 20-something days.
Coma.
Yeah, and
how'd you meet him?
My niece had she had the kind of spur of the moment brain surgery that she had to do this off season. So we went to Vanderbilt. We're sitting with her. Met Colton's family in the waiting room, kind of where you're waiting, and got to talking to his dad, and Brian got to talking to his dad, and told him, I said, what, when Colton gets better, this time we didn't know we didn't know what was going to happen. When Colton gets better, then I want to bring y'all up to New York, and I want y'all to be able to. He's a big, huge sports fan. Colton
He's rebounded.
He's rebounded. This was in January. And he's rebounded. He's fought a long road, and he's coming back. And so his mom, Heather, Brian, Colton, and his sister, they're all coming up next homestand for 4 days, and I'm excited to see him because I've met Colton one other time. I've met Colton, when he was asleep, but I'm excited to see how far he's come, and I've been in constant contact with their family. So
have some fun.
I'm excited to
show them the way. There's nothing like Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. So
that's great.
I'm excited about that for sure.
Well, we got to have you back. First of all, good luck.
Thank you.
I knew you were going to be different than I imagined, which I had no idea. But I just felt like you were going to be a personable, fun guy. And I feel like Yankee fans need to get to know you better. I think you're in for the long haul, and I think we got I think people are a little too tough on you. I really do. That's my opinion, by the way, not his. But I think people are a little too tough on you. But I also think, and I have more faith than fear, that there'll be a moment of time when, the third, fourth inning, something happens. Yeah. And it's like, oh, wow, can you believe what this guy did? You have that.
That's what Booney's told me over and over, and that's kind of the mindset that I've taken in the bullpen is, it might not have went as planned and as well as it went, but prepare yourself for that moment. Prepare yourself for that time where you're going to come up big for everybody, and that's kind of what I've got going on, and I just prepare myself for every day. If I get in the when I pitch, if it's another spot start, if it's whatever, if I'm coming out of the bullpen, be an intricate part of that bullpen, and prepare yourself for a moment to be big, and that's where I'm at. So
I would say if you stay ready, you won't have to get ready.
That's right. You're right about that.
The mantra there for you for the rest of the season, which I had a good feeling about it. Thank you so much. Appreciate the relationship.
Yes, sir. Thanks
for coming up.
Absolutely.